Antarctica, a desolate expanse, a land of ice and silence, or so we thought. For centuries, we believed this icy desert was devoid of life, a pristine time capsule untouched by time, but we were wrong. Our understanding of this frozen continent is changing. Something stirs beneath the ice, something ancient, something powerful. Recent expeditions have uncovered anomalies beneath the ice, strange signals, unexplained structures, evidence of something far beyond our comprehension. The frozen wasteland is not so desolate after all. It holds secrets buried deep beneath the ice, secrets that could rewrite history as we know it. This is not a story of scientific discovery. This is a story of survival. The first whispers came from the ice itself, strange readings from researchers studying the movement of glaciers, anomalies in the magnetic fields. Then came the signals, picked up by deep-sea probes, signals that were not natural, signals that hinted at intelligence. These discoveries were dismissed at first. Glitches in the data, equipment malfunctions, but the evidence mounted, the signals grew stronger, more complex. Something was communicating from the depths, something alive. For years we have been visited by objects we couldn't explain, unidentified flying objects defying our understanding of physics. Strange craft moving with impossible speed and agility. We called them UFOs, aliens from distant galaxies. But what if we were looking in the wrong direction? What if these visitors, these aliens, are not from other planets, but from our own? What if they have been here all along, hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica? The evidence is compelling. The unexplained sightings, the advanced technology, the strange signals all point to a single terrifying conclusion. We are not alone, and what we are dealing with is far closer than we ever imagined. The ice is melting. Global warming is no longer a distant threat. It is a terrifying reality, and as the ice recedes, it threatens to reveal what lies beneath, a force of unimaginable power dormant for millennia. The consequences are unthinkable. We are on the brink of a new era, an era of conflict and chaos. The balance of power is shifting. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance. We must prepare. We must be ready. The storm is coming.
I am a big believer in giving credit where credit is due. This gentleman, Torque Ventum, came to the channel and on one of my videos posted this about 10 hours ago, a set of coordinates. And when I went there and looked at it, and began uncovering the layers, not only do these coordinates reveal something very odd, but in the region I found 20 other things. Now, this leads me to something that I have tried to explain, and I'm still getting my mind wrapped around it myself. Google Earth Pro has an incredible amount of information on it, and they are hiding it using camera angles and the date slider. There are certain things that you can only see when you have a certain date selected, and those dates aren't available from every angle. It's very, very hard to do. This is my 6th or 7th take doing this video. Now, real quick before we go to that, I wanted to give this guy a shout out. He makes the allegation here he's being shadow banned. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. What this also proves is that anybody who knows my channel knows I'm not a giant fan of the current administration. Wasn't a huge fan of the people running against him either, but this guy is a fan. But this shows that we can, even disagreeing on that, work together to find the truth. I've always done my videos in a way that people can take my information, go find it for themselves, and they don't have to worry about whether I said it or not. They can look at it with their own eyes. You know, completely independent of the mainstream media. Now, once again, Torque Venom, well done. Give this guy a look. Give this guy a sub and a like. He doesn't have very much content out here, but what I've seen is good stuff. It's really good stuff, and clearly he's being suppressed. So we will leave that there. All right, Google Earth Pro. We're going to come back to this cone structure here in a minute as I zoom out, but I want to show you guys something to kind of reiterate what I'm talking about. When you open up Google Earth Pro, there's a bunch of things that you can do here. You can add a pin, a shape, a path, overlays, but you can also show historical imagery. And this is the tool they're using to hide this from the public. Because this slider, when you have this open, will change on its own, depending on the zoom level depending on the angle that you're looking at and the time. Now this exact cone structure, the reason I started here, there's an exact identical replica of this cone structure from another angle at another part of Antarctica in another timestamp. And every time I use it to try to use Google Earth Pro to try to go back and forth, it changes around the dates so much that everything else I want to show you today disappears, and it takes forever for me to get it back. So what I'm going to do is show you this real quick. Look at this shape. Now that other cone structure I covered in another video, and it's here. This is my video from the 30th. And this is, if you look at the video from the 31st, I put 29 different coordinate sets. If you find that video, the coordinates for this cone-shaped anomaly are there. And it's virtually identical. See what I'm talking about? Now, we're going to zoom out here. Also, another piece of channel business, the whole screen recording thing. See, as you can see at this distance, it goes away. This screen recording thing, I'm telling you, confuses the AI. I have no other explanation of why I've talked about the same exact things as other people and have not been shadow banned or demonetized. Now, this here, this is what Torque Ventum brought to my attention. To me, first glance, looks like an impact site. He says rising out of, either way, it's not natural for sure. And it definitely bears further investigation. Now, weirdly, you see some very, very strange things going on with this. One of the things you see on this high-res layer that, once again, is not available from every angle is this. This is just weird, these two V-shaped things going on out here. There's some non-natural events happening. Now we've covered the... I'm going to be doing a little bit of thinking out loud while I'm doing this, so don't think that I'm crazy. It's just that this has been an incredibly difficult video to do because of the way that Google Earth Pro is trying to hide stuff. The reason I bring this one up is because of this banding right here. This gets repeated, this perfect path across this oval. Not a path over here, not a path over here. You'll see this banding in other structures, which is just very, very weird. I know in that one it seems incredibly normal, but wait till you see it in the context of the others. All right, once again, and the reason this has a Roman numeral after it is because I found 8 of these. This is just number 6. This perfectly round, almost pointed, rounded triangle thing with the almost the exact same dimensions on every single one of them as far as distance goes. Entry, exit, refreezes, I'm not exactly sure, but not natural. This one for sure shows it. The shape is different, but clearly, look, there's a path. Either something was here and then something surfaced and they got on it and it submerged again, or it submerged and let something off and then it took off, one way or the other. In the context of things around it, not natural. And then, of course, in the vicinity, we have this just strangely collapsed oval. This is not as unnatural, but it's still, when you look around at it, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. And here, of course, you see, when you zoom out at this distance, the date slider changes up here, and you can't see these things. You'd have to be at an incredibly low level, knowing what to look for. Now, over here, let's see if these things will show up. Rounded triangle. And look at it in the, like I said, look at it in the context of the things around it. This is what a mountain range should look like. Nothing weird. This is weird. The only other place I've seen this in nature is on the back of a turtle. It's just not natural. Something very strange is under the ice here. Something unnatural. Something not a rock. Because look at this. Look at this. These are clearly paths. These aren't cracks. Now, this other thing over here that I've labeled as ribbed can only be literally seen from way above. Look at this here. Look at this giant ribbed complex. Look with the equidistance. Look at the same shape over and over and over and over again. It looks like a giant spinal column. Whatever they designed here, they designed after something they found in nature. Because you've got a central ridge, and look at the perfect spacing. Clearly, this is not a natural formation. And once again, torque venom. You know, he found the initial thing that led to all of these. All right, now you see, we zoom out, and you can kind of see the rib structure here a little bit, but like I said, unless you were looking for it. Let's see if this, hallelujah, this is where everything fell apart the first 6 times I tried to do this. Look at this opening. Why just randomly in the middle of this entire empty sheet of ice would you just have this beautiful, perfect, circular, symmetric opening? It's clearly something punched through the ice here, in or out, one way or the other. And let's see if this will uncover. This was another one. Okay. Here we see this odd kind of triangular-ish shape again. And then this belt line right through it. This is the second time I saw this. We saw the other one. And now we have this one. Oddly enough. And apologies for the name here. I just couldn't think of anything other than what it looked like. I call this the sperm pool because it just looks like a sperm, I guess. You've got this unnatural, weird line of extra white snow here. And then once again, for the third time, dead center, right across this, you have a belt structure. It's just weird. It's just, you see it repeated in this region over and over and over again. That something is going on here. Now, here's where things are going to go absolutely off the chart ridiculous. We'll start up here. Another iron-shaped rounded triangle. Not that big of a deal, but still not natural. Exact same shape here. Triangular pool. Here, what looks like a perfectly round submerged disc. All right, here's where it gets nuts. This looks like it could possibly be something. I just labeled it possible. It's just a pointed structure all by itself out in the middle of nowhere, and it's got this path leading up to it, and it just seems out of place. But I found something I think at one time might have been alive. Here again. Why round? Why perfectly round? All right, here we go. Last one. Strange circular opening again. Now, look at this. Does that look natural to you? This curly Q weird looks like the thing you tie up the bread with, a little wire tie thing. The first thing I thought was it was an abandoned tentacle. It was just... But then, wait till you see this. You're not going to believe it. I had to put a polygon next to it to show you this. Does this, or does this not, look like a giant squid? You've got the head of it here. You've got these ribbed features through here. And then you have what looks like the tentacles laid out back here. The big white thing next to it, I put there. That's a polygon that I dropped on here just so that I could find it again. So don't think that's anything strange. But when you look at this, this looks like the remains of something enormous. And like I said, the head here, the ribs and body here, and then you see these striations that look like what were giant tentacles. And they go on a long way. It does look like from... And you'd have to be above this to see how big this animal was. And right over here, literally right next to it down here, we see something that just looks like a tentacle laying on a rock. And the last thing from this field is way over here. And it just goes to show another, let's see if this will uncover. Oh, good. Look at this perfectly smoothed 90-degree angle on something. It's just not this prevalent in nature. Over and over and over and over again, we see this. This is clearly the hand of a civilization and some things that we have never seen before that is being hidden in time layers. Because you would think if they have this layer, this high-res layer, they would make it available at every year, at every point, but they don't. And I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to this again, this tentacle. Ice doesn't freeze this way. If you can get ice to freeze this way, then you're, a miracle worker. You would have to try. It doesn't freeze this way naturally. It looks like either an enormous, I'd say it, bread tie or a tentacle. And then strangely enough, right next to it, we see what looks like the remains of a giant animal. An animal we're familiar with, just not at this scale. So we'll leave it there. Once again, Torque Venom started this, and I found all of these things in this region. Very small area. So I will try to, as this uploads, get all of these coordinates into the description like I did with the last one. There's 20 different ones. So I better get to it. So thank you guys so much for the support. I very much appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
I'm sure you've heard the news. Ancient Antarctica is like a time capsule waiting to be unlocked. And you can be part of this journey. Beneath the ice lies a world of untold mysteries. Prehistoric landscapes, ancient ecosystems, even potential signs of early human life. But here's the catch. Uncovering these secrets requires cutting-edge technology and relentless research. That's where you come in. By pledging just $1 on Patreon or subscribing to our channel, you can support our mission to uncover the hidden past of this frozen continent. Every dollar helps us get closer to groundbreaking discoveries that could rewrite history. So, are you ready to be part of something epic? Click the link, join our community, and let's unravel the mysteries of ancient Antarctica together. Because every mystery solved brings us one step closer to understanding our own story. Subscribe now, and let's make history.
Are aliens using Antarctica as a home base? Or is Antarctica their real home? Strange, inexplicable sightings of incredibly advanced aircraft have been noted for hundreds of years all across the planet, leading many researchers to believe we may never have been alone on this planet. There is speculation about the likelihood of a strange variety of beings that may have been native to Antarctica before it froze over during the Middle Ages. Some even suggest that Egyptian pharaohs and world rulers may have regularly conducted trade with a far-off yet unknown mysterious culture. This culture is now forced to abandon the surface, living reclusive lives deep beneath the frozen ice sheet that now makes the surface of their once fertile homeworld a desolate wasteland. Helping support further research into Antarctica is critical for the future of humanity and requires support from viewers at either Patreon or any of the links in the description box below. What might be found at the South Pole could change life as we know it on Earth forever.